Welcome to Extra Time, everybody. Act 2, Shep messing as always. I'm Jason, the producer, and Greg's in South Africa. So, Shep, when we were discussing topics for the show this week, we realized that we have two very different outlooks on San Jose. I think they're primed to make a run in the second half. You basically think they're doomed.
I think you're in fantasy land. And let me preface it by saying I love San Jose, so I don't want to get hate mail. I just think they only have 9 points after 13 games, and the hole they've dug for themselves, it's too large to get out of.
I just couldn't help but think when I was watching the Seattle game this weekend that San Jose looks like a different team with Huckaby. I get that they lost. They gave up a couple tough goals. But offensively, they're a different team. They have a different energy to them. I think that things are falling into place for them. I have 3 reasons why I think that they're going to make this run, similar to what they did last year to get back into the playoff race. It starts with Darren Huckaby. He's a player who can take the team on their back when he has to. He creates a lot of offense for them that they weren't getting before. He's a danger. He makes them dangerous on both flanks now, whereas before you didn't really have to worry about, not to say Bobby Convey was bad, but he's not the same attacker as Darren Huckaby.
Let me point out that the game that got you energized, they lost to Seattle. Huckaby, I'm giving you. Great player. He's definitely going to help the team, but he's one player. So what else do you have?
All right. Number 2, my argument is that their defense has been improved. And I think it's a little bit of addition by subtraction. I think Nick Garcia wasn't really doing it for them this year. I think if you watch that Seattle game, I know Jason Hernandez slipped and gave up that goal. But Jason Hernandez and Mike Zaire played the other 89 minutes flawless. Those two were great. I think their defense is improving. What it's going to take is those guys playing more games together, getting comfortable with each other. And in a month or so, Ryan Cochran comes back, who showed he's a pretty good defender.
Guess what? You're in the middle of the season. You only have 9 points after 13 games. You don't have time for them to come back, get Cochran, Jason Hernandez, get back to his regular fitness, have a cohesive back four. We always talk about chemistry in the attacking third of the field. I think they're disjointed because of those injuries defensively, so I think they're going to struggle on that side of the ball.
All right. My final argument, though, is I think that they have some favorable scheduling ahead, and it starts this weekend against LA. I think you're playing an LA team without Landon Donovan, without David Beckham. I really think they don't have offense. They have Edson Buttle as an attacker, but they showed against Salt Lake that they just don't have the offense right now, and Eddie Lewis is out.
That's one game. What else do you have
on
the schedule?
Then they go to Salt Lake, winnable game. Salt Lake's playing much better, but the last team that San Jose beat was Salt Lake. Then 5 out of 6 at home. If you're telling me you can't get on a streak with 5 out of 6 home games, let's hope. They're only 500 on the road at home this season, but they also haven't had Darren Huckaby for most of those games.
Let me give you my counterpoints. First of all, in Major League Soccer, it is very difficult to go on a winning streak. They have 17 games left. You talk about the schedule. Who in this league is going to rip off 10 victories in a row?
Probably Houston.
Yeah, Houston, but that's not San Jose. And when you have a favorable schedule, it's only if you have a good team to take advantage of it. I'll tell you what else. Players in Major League Soccer, they love to go play at San Jose. It's a beautiful city. They have a tremendous fan base, but they've never had a good team. It's not like going to play DC United away. You're going to San Jose, so players like to go there. I do the math. I think they have a 2% chance of getting in the playoffs because if you rip off 10 wins in a row, they're still going to only get 30 points out of it. They'll have 39. I don't think that's enough.
All right. I would argue that I think 36 to 39 points does make the playoffs this year. 39 points made it last year. You have all those ties this year that are bringing the point totals down a little bit. So I'll say that I think if they can get to 36, they'll be in the playoffs. I think they're going to get close. I think they're going to be in the race at the end with 3 road games at the end of the season, which will be tough. But if they steal one, I say maybe they're in the playoffs.
You remember that song, California Dreaming? Who's going to score goals for them?
Ryan Johnson has scored 5 already, right? Cornell Glenn is a different kind of player that they didn't have. He's a little more dynamic. He's got a little speed to him. And again, with Huckaby and Arturo Alvarez now attacking on the flanks, they're a dangerous team. They're a team you're going to have to worry about.
Several weeks ago on this show, we picked our top striking pairs and maybe the least effective strikers in the league. You just named the least effective.
All right, we'll see what San Jose has, and it'll start this weekend against LA. Well, let's get to the mailbag now. We got an email from Nathan in Topeka, Kansas, and he says, after another red card in Kansas City game, is this a sign of good officiating, or is it just disrupting the flow of the game for both teams?
Yeah, Nathan, good question, and I think coaches all across Major League Soccer are trying to answer that one. I think it's good for the game because it really, in this sport, is more difficult to create, to play free-flowing, than it is to destroy, be a hatchet team, foul excessively. And the onus is on the coaches and the players. Nobody knows it better than Kurt and Alfo. They have to adjust to the officiating.
Yeah, and I think in general, we're looking for it to open up the play a little bit. You know, the players will adjust. It hasn't happened yet, but maybe it's slowly happening. And as the coaches, like you said, explain to the players, all right, you're going to need to ease up. Obviously, we don't want to be down a man. It'll open up the play. That's all the time we have for today. Tomorrow we're going to look at Superliga and the weekend ahead.